Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka and I'm by myself today. I decided that I was going to attempt to review season 10 of Real Housewives of Potomac. So with that being said, again, my name is Artieka. This is August Love Story, the channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. So season 10, episodes 1 and 2 are where we are. Episode 3 came on last night. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to get to it before episode 4 comes out. Episode 1 was titled Second Bloom, and episode 2 was called Meant to Be Shady. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. I don't know how many times I've said this because it's probably all out of whack. So season 10, episode 1. I started off by writing that Giselle and Ashley are annoying. Wendy is renovating her house, which I'm very interested to see how we get into the robbery that happened with Wendy and if any of that money was used in this renovation. Anywho, oh wait, that might have been. Oh, never mind. We're right at the top. So Stacey was confronted by Giselle and Ashley about TJ. And she ended up on a date with her husband. So if we remember, Stacey's first season was last season. And in that first season that she had, she was allegedly in the middle of a divorce and dating TJ. Most of us looked at TJ and said, he's just not that into you. For whatever reason, we came to that conclusion. We flashed to Kiana in her new condo, and her mom comes over to visit. She tells us that she's broken up with Greg, but then she and Greg reconciled on a trip to Jamaica. And her mom tells her in this scene that she just doesn't think that this relationship was good for her. I don't think that Kay and Greg have the same goals, and that is why this is not a great relationship for her. I'm wondering if Kay is the baddie that he couldn't pull back in the day, and he's just like, I'm going to treat you this way for every girl that I tried and couldn't get. But he's also dating after divorce, so he could also just not want to get married again. And Kay is just the rebound that keeps rebounding. I don't know. We'll have to watch longer to find out what else happens. Wendy talks to Eddie about expanding Happy Eddie into other states. Right now they're in 3 states, and they're wanting to grow the cannabis business into additional states. Ashley is planning a divorce party. She's calling it her second bloom. Why is Ashley still on this show? That is the biggest question that I have, is why is Ashley still on this show? Giselle stirs up enough mess and gets the people going. Ashley is just annoying. And I don't know how she's lasted 10 seasons. But she's still here for whatever reason. Ashley, when she brought Stacey out, she told her that an actress friend of hers, which the internet has said that it's one of the actors from Shameless, let her know that TJ was suing Stacey. And Stacey's just like, no, he's not suing me. I don't know what you're talking about. We do introduce a new housewife this season. Actually, 2. The first one that we meet is Angel. She's actually a friend of Kay. They've been friends for 20 years. Angel is married to a former Denver Bronco. Didn't catch his name. I think it was Bobby, but it's not really important. The guys don't really make that big of a deal to the Real Housewives franchises unless they insert themselves in the minutia of what's going on with the housewives. But for right now, he's just kind of just her husband. He's over there. So while Kiana was at Angel's house. Angel tells her that she knows of Ashley because Ashley was a bottle girl, I guess at a club she used to work at. And Wendy was the big sister of one of her friends from college. So this also comes up later where Wendy acts like she doesn't know who Angel is after she gives her a hug. But she absolutely gave her the reaction like, oh, you're here? So it's a lot of fakery in that equation with Wendy as well. But they have decided that they're going to address Wendy being dismissive of Kiana, which she was dismissive of Kiana because they were both at an event. Kay was the sponsor of the event. Wendy was speaking on the panel, and Kiana says Wendy, one, was acting very weird about telling her that she was coming. Two, she didn't speak to her when she walks in. So apparently the walk-in, as we find out later on, was Wendy was on stage actively like in dialogue and just didn't wave or say, hey girl. And she also said that she didn't know that she was coming to the event because her kids were sick. Kiana was like, you could have at least said that. It felt very weird, very dismissive. You could have let me in and know what was going on. They're going to address all of this at the Bloom Ball. At the Bloom Ball, we meet the second new housewife, which is Tia. Tia is Giselle's friend. Kay confronts Wendy about sponsoring the event and her not speaking at the event while she was on stage. I put in my notes that this feels like a reach for Kiana. I'm going to say that Wendy absolutely can be dismissive of people. She has her own narrative, but I don't think that this was the hill to die on, that you should have spoken to me while I was on stage. As we see now with the current news, there's so much more to get on Wendy about that we could just leave this to the wayside. At the ending of this episode, Angel, Giselle, Ashley, and Stacey are together, and then Ashley tells Stacey that her breath stinks. Angel and Giselle both laugh and agree. So I'm like, maybe her breath is tart, as Angel says. I don't know. I was watching a review and I should not have done that. I ended up turning it off once they talked about Stacey's breath. But they were like, maybe this should have been addressed last season instead of bringing it up at the top of this season. Like, if her breath was bad, there should have been some times that y'all offered her mints throughout last season since she was there last season. Stacey and Ashley end up getting into an argument at the ending of the episode because Ashley says that she's divorced and we should be able to find Stacey's divorce records online if she's truly divorced. This is dumb. If the girl is or isn't divorced isn't the hill to die on. There's so many other issues to poke holes on with Stacey. I don't think that the hill to die on is this divorce, but it's reality TV. They got to have some stuff to get through. So episode 2, they start back up with everybody confronting Stacey about getting back with her husband. So, of course, she spent her entire first season, much like Ashley has spent the last 4 seasons divorcing a man. Stacey actually did only spend 1 season saying that she was divorcing her husband. Wendy and Kay are still talking to each other. Kay feels like Wendy's gaslighting her. Stacey said that she said M is negative. Angel was like, not too much on my girl. Oh, Kay. Stacey said that Kay was being negative towards her. And Angel was like, not too much on my girl. That is my friend. And you're not going to treat her this way. We do find out that Stacey says that she's done an ancestry test and she's Nigerian. So that is her way of relating with both Tia and Wendy. I don't think I mentioned it, but Tia is English. She has a British accent. Is that the right thing to say? She has an English accent. I don't know. She from across the pond. But she is of Nigerian descent. We know that Wendy's of Nigerian descent. Stacey's finding this is her way to ease in and say, hey, I too am Nigerian. We go through with Kay having a billboard of Kay Stewart Beauty. Great. Woo. Not too much on that. Wendy has Stacy to come over. She says that she wore a romper just for Stacy. And they flash back to like 4 different scenes last season of Stacy in a romper because Stacy likes a romper. They go out on the back. I don't know if you're calling this a lanai or just a deck because, you know, people like to call things bigger names when you get another digit besides 1 or 2 in front of your house as the leading digit. They can't pop champagne. So they decide that they're just going to drink some sparkling water because neither one of them knows how to open up a bottle of champagne. They talk about Ashley saying that there are receipts about the lawsuit and she saw him on the phone. My biggest question for that was, say that this person did bring this up. Why? Who comes to, I think it was like a Women in Hollywood event. Who comes to a Women in Hollywood event and be, girl, guess what's in my phone? Your castmate is getting sued by my friend and I got the receipts on it. It's like, were y'all fishing for information on people that knew TJ? Did she just come out being this messy? I got questions. Of course, they don't get into how this all happened, but I do absolutely have questions. Stacy then comes forward to Wendy after denying it at the last season's reunion to let us know that she does indeed have a cannabis line. She got approached about doing a cannabis line and they, the entire cast was telling her that Stacy was going to come out with a cannabis line at the end of last season. So they all knew and Stacy was just lying about it. They said, don't be surprised if Spacey Stacy comes out because he has Happy Eddie. But I don't know. I feel like there's room in the cannabis world for everything, but this also feels like the Karen candle company that Wendy started a candle company and Karen just kind of sat there like, oh no, there's a difference between my candle and her candle. Mine has 3 wicks and hers only has 1. And I guess Stacy's is Eddie's makes you happy and mine makes you mellow. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Tia has Giselle over and Tia explains that her name in, I believe it was Yoruba, means pampered from my mother's womb. Stacey has told us that she don't like to do anything in her house. She don't want to watch them kids. She not driving them anywhere. She had them. That's it. Like, I pushed them out, cut them out, whatever it may be. That's the ending of it with me and these kids. Like, those his kids, he wanted them. He can go run them on their errands and do whatever they want to do. Let's see. Ashley has her half sister over. And I just have a question with that. I am from a very, very blended family. So like my dad has 3 kids. My mom has 1. My stepdad has 3 kids. Unless we're trying to differentiate like which sibling it is, like I never would call my sister my half sister. I never call either of my brothers my half brother. Like I don't have what they call a full sibling around. Like my older brother, or I should say my oldest brother, has a different dad from me. My brother that is the same age as me, obviously, we have different moms. My sister and I have different moms. But we've never used half sister, half brother, any of that. And it's just really strange that Ashley has this sibling that's in the house with her and her mom, Sheila. And she calls this girl her half sister. So that's a hill that I am willing to die on because I don't treat siblings any different. Like my sister is my sister is my sister. My brother is my brother is my brother. the only way that I explain is if someone's like, oh, I thought this was your mom's child. Because I did go through that in elementary school where people thought my brother that's the same age as me and I were twins. But I'm like, no, we're not twins. We're 16 days apart. And we have the same dad, not the same mom. Like, we are the reason that our parents are not together. Like, my mom found out about my brother's mom found out about my mom. Everybody is amicable in this equation. Like, our mothers have no beef, no smoke. We can do everything together as a family. Like, would not be strange of us if we decided to vacation together, would not be a weird situation at all. I don't know. It just felt very, very weird. But this is apparently Sheila's child with the bum, that Sheila was like, this man is sucking the life out of you. Remember that guy that she's been talking about for years and years, that she was living or didn't have a home. She was unhoused because of him. Ashley's still dating the guy that Wendy called Jack Harlow. He's coming over to go to an event with her, and she's dressed in a gown, and he got on some, not even Nikes, I don't know, it was like an athletic shoe. They're mismatched. Maybe Ashley really is the girl that should have been in the sneakers but wasn't. Whatever. The next scene we see was Angel having a meal with her husband, Bobby. That is his name. They talk about missing nature, and because they lived in Colorado for so long, they started a nature business. Like, they would take people out on hikes and do things like that. And they're looking for that same element in Maryland. So they've yet to buy a house because they're trying to figure out what their non-negotiables are, which makes so much sense. My husband and I were talking about this yesterday, about cars specifically. Like, it's best to start looking for a car when you don't need a car, so that you know what you want out of your next vehicle. Instead of just being in the panic of, oh my God, I had a car accident, or my car stopped on me, or whatever it may be, and I'm just trying to get something new. And I use that as an analogy because right around the time that we closed on our house, his car experienced an electrical issue. And he was just like, I want an SUV. He truly wanted a pickup truck, but he hadn't come to terms with that. Now he talks about it on a regular basis that he wish he would have just gotten a pickup truck. I'm like, now you need to start looking at pickup trucks and look at what are the additional features, so that when you are ready to trade in or buy a new vehicle, because we're giving one of the vehicles away, selling it, whatever it may be, we'll have a vantage point on that. But yeah, I thought that was very smart to not just jump into, I want to move back to Maryland, I want to move back home, let's buy a house. Because they still have their home in Colorado, and they are able to spend 12 months or however many months looking for a home, instead of just jumping in on something, realizing this isn't the neighborhood that I want to live in. This isn't the area that I want to be in, or it's doesn't have the amenities in the community that I want, whatever it may be. I absolutely think that is the time to, like, make out your negotiable and non-negotiable list so that you can figure those things out. Like, I've started a list for our next home. We're not planning on selling this one anytime soon, but it's one of those things that when we go into a neighborhood and we look at a home, I can say, oh no, not this. I don't want that, because we'll know what we want because we have a list. Let's see. Kiana and Giselle get together. They talk about her and Greg. And then they talk about Angel defending Wendy. And in the conversation of Angel defending Wendy was when Kiana said that Wendy told her that her kids had been sick, and she asked her, well, did you check on the kids when you reached back out to Wendy? And Kay was like, don't do that. Like, them kids wasn't so sick that she couldn't come to this event because she was there. So don't try to check me on her kids. She explained the interaction with Giselle as a chin check. And so, of course, when Angel had an event, which was the next scene, she invited everyone over. And Giselle's first question was, are you and Wendy good? And then let me tell y'all that Kay said she chin checked you, Angel. So are y'all good? They both agreed that it wasn't a chin check and they shook on it. I've never used the phrase chin check as like me saying, hey, don't do that in front of me to my friends. I just be like, nah, I said what I said. That's how I felt about it. And I was able to move on. Stacey comes in, they offer her a mint. And then they have, I believe it was a sound bath. At the ending of it, Stacey asks, can they do a release of some sort where they all like hunch the air and scream or growl of some nature. I hope that they can not spend the entire season trying to check Stacey about TJ, because again, there's so many other things that we can get on Stacey about. Much like I hope Kiana doesn't spend the entire season being upset with Wendy because she didn't speak to her while she was on stage. There's so many other things that we can talk about Wendy about. I haven't watched this next episode, but this next episode is also about the chin check. So we're about to be 3 episodes in, still talking about technically the Wendy and Kiana not speaking, not telling me you're coming to the event as a speaker of it all. 3 episodes is enough of an arc that we can move past this. We do not need a 5 to 7 episode arc about this same issue. That is the hill that Real Housewives of Atlanta died on with Marlo and Candy. Candy not talking to her when her nephew died. It was annoying. Nobody cared past the 2nd episode. We moved on. Last scene was Ashley, Giselle, and Kay go and meet with Karen's friend Cookie. They talked about Karen going into an alcohol abuse program while she was incarcerated. We do find out that as filming was about to wrap up for this season, that Karen was released. Then Cookie got a text from Chris Samuels, and they told her, or Ashley told everybody, that Stacey was trying to talk to Chris Samuels. I guess we had to find a way to bring Monique back in, which not really excited about seeing her on the scene either. Monique left 5-6 seasons ago because she decided that she wanted to fight while pregnant. Wasn't she pregnant? Yeah, she was definitely pregnant. She wanted to fight Candace while pregnant over something that she was really mad at Giselle about. It's so much stuff in behind the scenes with these Real Housewives shows. Potomac being one of them. I don't watch all the franchises, but I do watch Potomac. I do watch Atlanta. And it's so much behind the scenes that when it comes out, it's like you had all this misdirected anger at this person, and then you had the nerve to want to fight over this. Baby, let that go. But anywho, that was my review / recap of season 10, episodes 1 and 2. Episode 3 did come on last night because today is Monday. I'm going to watch that on Peacock at some point today, and I'll try to get the 3rd episode out this week before Sunday. Join myself and my husband on Love Brew on Thursday. No, Love Brew is Saturdays. We do a members only live call for lovers only on Thursday nights. I think this Saturday we're not going to be live because he's doing some things with his class. So I think we're going to do Friday nights. We'll get back to you guys just to let you know what we decide. It'll be posted in our community tab. But again, if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and comment down below. That is my biggest question from this season, the half sister debate. Do you call your siblings that are not by your mom and your dad your half siblings, or do you just say my brother or my sister? I'll see you guys later on this week. Bye.